Freie University, Berlin, and Dahlem. This is where there's a whole lot of Max Planck Institutes here. So this is just, and the Max Planck Institute is all behind here. Beautiful autumn day, October 15th, 2025. I came to Dahlem to find the building that was the Max Planck Institute, run by Professor Dr Warburg. Some of these buildings look old, but obviously these are new. When Dr Warburg was alive, and when Sir Hans Krebs was working with him in the 1920s, so 100 years ago, the Institute was surrounded by fields where Dr Warburg, that's not Dr Warburg, I don't know who that is. I suppose I can find out. So I understand the old lab that Dr Warburg worked in has been kept, and it was used for archives, but apparently it's closed now. So I don't know. I don't think they've torn it down. But it's likely one of these buildings. Yeah, oh, look at that. There's a big sculpture over there. And there's the Freie University again. Get an idea of what it is. Okay, I'm just walking around Boltzmann Straße. Now, Dr Warburg was born in Freiburg, where his father was professor of physics. And I understand he had something to do with Albert Einstein. Not being in the German army in the First World War. Because, of course, the science community is very small. And they all would have known each other. Certainly the physicists knew each other, and Albert Einstein was a star very early on. So I don't think that's the building. Although it says that this is 12 to 14 Boltzmann Straße, and Dr Warburg's lab building is listed as being at 14 Boltzmann Straße. I don't know. That's the building. A lot of new buildings have been put up since then, and probably all of these as well, because the Institute was surrounded by fields. Now clearly the Freie University took over some of the land. Look at this purple flower. See, that doesn't look like the picture that I've seen. The picture I've seen of Dr Warburg's lab has a black roof. It's very squat. But maybe they fixed the roof. So here we are, Archive 414. Could be down there somewhere. Anyway, I'm certainly in the right area. archive. There we are. And the place is crawling with brilliant young people with German symbols on the back of their shirt. This is just a gorgeous place. I know that Sir Hans Krebs was very happy here, even while he was working pretty much 24 hours a day. Not that, I mean, obviously he slept, but he was working very hard when he was here. And a lot of his brilliant ideas, critical thinking, they started here. In 1932, he devised a physiological solution and described the urea cycle, how urea is made from ammonia and carbon dioxide. And that's where I came in. In 1980, I had a paper published in which I described the mitochondrial carbonic anhydrase that was furnishing the bicarbonate molecule that combined with the ammonia molecule that was the start of the urea cycle. 40 years ago, I went to Freiburg to work in a lab, and it really didn't work out for a whole lot of reasons. Probably immaturity. When you spend all your life in the lab, you don't necessarily understand things. But I was working in the lab where Sir Hans Krebs had elucidated the urea cycle, except that it was the air, because at the end of the Second World War, Germany, the Luftwaffe, bombed the hospital complex in the University of Freiburg, where Sir Hans Krebs had done his work. But the blueprints of the building existed, and Germans, being Germans, rebuilt the hospital exactly as it had been. So although I wasn't within the physical bricks, I was sort of within the physical air. It was fun. And that's when I met Lothar, this brilliant physicist in Freiburg. And he died of Parkinson's in 2019. He would have been 84 now, and he should have been with me here. But Parkinson's appears to have been caused, first of all, by hits on the head, which we always knew boxers get Parkinson's. And Lothar certainly fell off his bike and his skis plenty of times. But also fertilizers that are used in fields. And Lothar was on his bike pretty much whenever he wasn't working, in the summer and spring and fall, riding through fields that were liberally sprayed with these awful fertilizers. So this is where discoveries are still being made. But all these new buildings, they probably, in fact, they definitely would have been fields. These are all built on the fields. Now, I wrote a story 30 years ago about Sir Hans Krebs coming to the Max Planck Institute, and I had him seeing the institute from the train. Looking at the map, it seems like it was very possible, if there weren't a lot of trees in the way. So maybe not. Look at these new buildings. Bauhaus. I much prefer the old German architecture. It's more friendly This looks kind of too practical. And also huge energy waste. Look at all those windows. See all the heat going through the windows. Now, Germans are pretty good on renewable energy, so maybe they have all kinds of wind farms and solar panels. And special types of glass that somehow don't let out heat, don't let out cool in the summer. Okay, we're on Hanachstrasse. Okay, so that's the end of my tour around the Max Planck Institute, and I would imagine this whole area would have been fields. Wow, what a great treat. I hope you enjoyed this, October 15th, 2025.